Welcome to the Ministry Pivot Podcast with Russell St. Bernard, a podcast designed to assist leaders as they seize the season of opportunity by pivoting toward it. Let's get started with today's episode.
Hey family, Reverend Russ, back again with another Ministry Pivot short episode. Super thankful again for you all who are watching, who are listening today, tonight, whenever it is that you are locked in with us. Again, don't forget to go to ministrypivot.com. Don't forget to like, to comment, to share, to follow, to subscribe. All of those things help us move up in the charts. I wanted to talk a little bit today really quickly about the fact that we need to lean into our strengths. We need to lean into our strength. A couple of weeks back, I was able to share at a leadership event with the church, with their leaders. I was able to share, and one of the slides that I ended on was a slide that said that you need to lean into your strengths. And really what I meant by that is you need to lean into your strengths and lean away from the things that you aren't strong in. I wouldn't call them their weaknesses. I am now a new Gallup-certified strengths coach. And so we don't really want to say weaknesses. We want to say the things that are your lesser strengths. But the truth is, what is your lesser strength is actually someone else's strong strength. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But as I was teaching and talking through with this group of leaders, I was really trying to speak to them and talking about in their context of ministry, in their context of church, but in your context of life, in your context of working, what are the things that really are the things that you're strong at? We've heard it said before, what are the things that you would do if you didn't have to worry about money? What would you do for free? But the truth is, I really like a term that Gallup uses more, and it's really called, what is in your flow? When you're in your flow, when you're doing things that you honestly can do with almost one hand tied behind your back, you can do in the middle of the night, you can do in the middle of the day, you can do if you're super tired. These are the things that are your strengths. I love to be able to do this, to be able to coach, to be able to consult, to be able to talk, to be able to share, to be able to help people see a new idea and move them forward. That's in my, what's in your flow? What are the things that you do really well? What are the things that people comment and say, man, you did this and it helped me, or man, you did this and it looks great, or man, you did this and nobody else that I know really is able to do it in that way. What are the things that you should lean into? And then my question or my encouragement for you today is, how do you lean into your strengths and lean away from your lesser strengths? Lean away from the things that don't allow you to give major impact, but you give lesser impact. How do you lean into those things and lean away from a couple others? So I will share with you the first thing that I think you have to do, of course, is you have to identify your strengths. You have to identify the things that you are strong in. An easy way to do this is to think about the last time that you really enjoyed your work, or really enjoyed a productive time, or really enjoyed a season, and think about the things that you had to use in order to enjoy that season. Gallup has a assessment tool that I would recommend that you use, an assessment tool that helps you identify your top, well, really your 34 strengths or talents. And as you identify those, then you'll be able to know what they are. You can go on to Gallup.com and do that. You can even reach out to me. I can help you to be able to access that assessment, and then also be able to talk you through what that assessment means for you, and ways in which you may be able to lean more into your strengths. But whatever it is, I suggest that you figure out a way to identify your strengths. Why is that important? It's important because as you identify your strengths, what you're also doing is you're identifying the things that you aren't as strong in. And that's the second point. The first point is to identify your strengths. The second point is for you to understand and know what your lesser strengths are. I said this earlier in this comment, in this podcast rather, that when you identify what your strengths are, you also identify what your lesser strengths are. You also identify what's on the bottom of the bracket. You also identify the things that if you really didn't have to do them ever again, you would not do them ever again. But the truth is, if you flip that on its head, there are some people who really have a strength in your lesser strengths. And that's one of the things that I find to be key about Gallup, and I find to be key about us identifying our strengths, is that as we get to know our strengths, we also get to know the areas that we aren't as strong, and we can hand those off to people who really are strong in them. You've heard it said before that you need to lean into your strengths and staff your weaknesses. Again, we'll use lesser strengths in this conversation, but the point is that there's something that you're not good at, and that's fine because somebody else is excellent at it. So the question is that somebody else on your team? Is that somebody else that you can hire? Is that somebody else who's a friend that may be willing to allow for you to work with them, or for them to work with you, so that they can encourage your gift and you can encourage their gift? So the first thing is identify your strength. The second thing is, as you identify your strengths and you're leaning into those, then also identify your lesser strengths, but also identify the people who really do well in those lesser strengths. And then the last thing before we go, again, it's going to be a short pivot. I told you that in the beginning, that after you identify your strengths, after you identify your lesser strengths, and who in your circle, those lesser strengths for you are their stronger strengths, then the last thing you have to do is you have to track your strengths. Why do you track your progress? Not just because my number one is competition, do I always track it, or because achiever is in there as well, but it is because as you track your strengths, you track that word I used earlier, your flow. You track the things that you do well. You track not just the things you do well, but how you do them well. Can you imagine a life where you only did what you enjoyed? Can you imagine a life where you only did what you enjoyed, and what you enjoyed was able to pay all of your bills, able to make sure that your children were straight, able to pay all of the things that you want to have going forward, and you were able to enjoy life? Can you imagine what that would look like? That I truthfully believe, not just being a strength coach, but also, of course, being a preacher, that God has come to give us life. That's right. If you know the word, life more abundantly. I believe that that is what is supposed to happen. But oftentimes we have to operate in areas that aren't our strength. So if you're operating in your strength and you track your strength, what that's going to do is it's going to help you to say no to some stuff, and it's going to help you to say yes to some stuff. It's going to help you to say no to some people, and it's going to help you to say yes to some people. It's going to help you to say no to some opportunities, because every opportunity is not a good opportunity. And it's going to help you to say yes to other opportunities, because as you track the things that you do well, as you track the things that are your strengths, as you track the things that you lean into, you'll be able to see that, oh, when it's in this lane, I do really well. When it's in this lane, I'm really at peace. When it's in this lane, I'm really able to impact people in a much better, I'm a better teammate when it's in this place. So prayerfully, this was helpful. Prayerfully, you are encouraged, but also intrigued about your strengths. If you don't know, if you have done your strengths before, which millions of people have done already, under just already, period. If you have already done them, great. Lean into them some more. If you have not done them, or if you've done them a while ago and you really don't know what they are and you want some time, obviously, I would be excited to share with you about your strengths. All you have to do is go to ministrypivot.com and be able to fill out the form that is there under coach, or just reach out to me simply by texting the word pivot to 954-539-0841. Again, that's 954-539-0841. Text the word pivot to that phone number, and you'll be able to be added to the list, and we'll be able to contact you and give you information about how to use your strengths, how to lean into your strengths. I'll do a free consultation call with you for a few moments to kind of talk you through what that can look like, and we can go forward with that, with a one-on-one coaching, or maybe for your team, or maybe just for life in general, life coaching, all of those things I would be open to do. But whatever it is, even if we don't talk about it ever again, if you don't talk to Rev Russ about it at all, to Russell about it at all, I would encourage you to lean into your strengths. And what that also means is lean away from the things that you know aren't your top strengths, the things that you know are your lesser strengths. I pray this was helpful. Again, don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, all of the things. Don't forget to share to some people. Don't forget to check out the show notes. And don't forget that this is your season of opportunity. All you have to do is pivot toward it. God bless.
That's it for today's episode of the Ministry Pivot. We hope you enjoyed listening and gaining some valuable insight. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss out on our future episodes. And if today's show has resonated with you, please leave us a review to help others discover our podcast. For more resources and updates, visit our website at ministrypivot.com. And be sure to join our email list as well as follow us on Instagram at Ministry Pivot. Thanks for joining us today, and we're excited to have you back next time for another insightful episode of Ministry Pivot. Stay connected, keep pivoting. We'll see you soon.